that's an idea. Now that's an idea. Now that's an idea.
And welcome back to Now That's an Idea, Tairāwhiti's own podcast where we look at good ideas. But a quick note, this is actually our last week talking about politics, because this is not a show about politics. This is Tairāwhiti's podcast. Let's jump into it.
Well, welcome, Debbie Gregory, to the show. Now That's an Idea. Thanks so much for taking the time to join. How are we doing today?
Cool, thank you. It's good. We've had a couple of real sunny days and really lifts the spirits.
Now, you were the editor of the Gisborne Herald at one point, weren't you?
Editor, no, I was the chief reporter.
Chief reporter. Well, it's just, I've, as people may know, I was a reporter at the Gisborne Herald, and I've just interviewed Jeremy Muir, and now I'm interviewing you. And
Okay.
And we happen to kind of live on the same street, Shelley Road. So yeah, no, it's very much a Gisborne podcast where everyone knows everyone.
Oh, it's great that you're doing this podcast. I've been waiting for someone to do this.
Yeah, well, I actually may have bitten off a bit more than I can chew because there's a lot of people to interview.
Yeah.
And one day a week, even one a weekday, it's going to take a while. So I might have to up my game. So before we get into your idea for Tairāwhiti, and if you get into council again, do you want to give like a rundown of who you are and a bit of what you've done in your past so we can all know something more about you?
Yep. So I grew up at Wainui Beach. Our first 16 years of my life, we lived in Williamson Street, and it was a really idyllic childhood. Went to the beach. I was the youngest of 6 kids, and we went to the beach whenever we liked. Dad had a garden, huge garden, and grew all our veggies. And Nana, my Nana, who has been really important to me in my life, lived just down the road. I could walk down there. And when I had a paper run, that was my first job. She was on my paper run, and she usually had a little treat for me, a little cold drink or fizzy ice cream, ice cream soda, but sometimes it wasn't that fizzy. And anyway, Nana was she was the first woman councillor on the Gisborne City Council.
Wow.
And yeah, in the 1960s. So
I was wondering where that was going.
Yeah. So she was real instrumental in the idea for me to stand for council. And also she did a lot of work with me. You know, at school when you do speeches, she used to always help me out and show me how to do it and help my speech cards and things. So that was Wainui and Nana.
What was her name, sorry?
Frances Gregory.
Frances Gregory.
Yeah.
I'll have to look her up.
Yeah. So then I went to school in Gisborne, and then when I left school, I got a cadetship with the Gisborne Herald. And that was 2 years of working and study, and that was a lot of fun. I loved it. And then I went up to Auckland for a couple of years, worked for the North Shore Times, and I was a sports reporter on that paper, the only one. And it was quite cool because there was a lot of, sort of sports stars on the North Shore, like Buck Shelford and Danny Morrison and Mahi Drysdale. I interviewed him once. He's now the mayor of Tauranga. So that was fun. And then I came back to Gisborne. I had 4 kids. And I lived on a lifestyle block and had a market garden, and used to go to the flea market every Saturday morning at 3 a.m. and did that for about six or 7 years, selling kumara and oranges. And kumara was our speciality, and really enjoyed that. And then I went back to the Gisborne Herald, got a job as the rural farm reporter, and that really cool job. I went all around Gisborne. I went to places that no one's been, on back of farms, and met all sorts of amazing people. And then became the chief reporter there. And that was a good job, but it was really stressful. It was 24/7, and 7.5 years of that. I got to the end of 7 years and thought, I need something else. I could kind of see the end of the print game, and decided, a few people said to me I should stand for council, and so I did. And yeah, I was really lucky to get on, and that's what I've been doing for the past 6 years. But hang on, I also had I've gained 3 amazing grandchildren during those 6 years. Yeah, so that's me.
Yeah, a full life so far for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think I was only at the paper for 12 months or 18 months or something like that. I've never really held a job too long, but it's such an amazing place to just meet so many people in the community and really like dive deep into parts. You think of Gisborne as like kind of a small city where there's not too much going on, but then when you actually work at the paper, you realize there's so many parts and you're actually just stuck in your little bubble of the world. And you realize that like the up the coast and, there's agriculture and the boats coming in and tourism. And it's actually quite a busy little town we've got here, right?
Yeah, it was really a fabulous grounding for council. Although I thought I was going to just walk in there and be great, but it is a giant beast to learn.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the oxymoron of this show and interviewing councillors, because I'm asking, what's your idea going into council and what are you going to change? But really, you're one of 13 and you can kind of only direct the council so much because there's only so much room. But, the point of this show is more to give people an idea of how candidates think about problems and how they articulate a solution. So yes, with that in mind, do you want to give us your idea for Tairāwhiti? How are you going to make this place better? How are you going to change things?
Okay, so let's go. So my idea, which isn't 100% original, but it's something I'm passionate as about and it excites me the most about council, is about rubbish and waste. So council's bought a piece of land with funding from the Ministry of Environment, and we've got this opportunity in front of us to make a proper recycling centre. Because at the moment, we've got all of our rubbish is sorted by waste management on a tiny little section in the industrial subdivision. There isn't space for anything there. And if we had this proper recycling centre, we could have, you drive your trailer in and drop your wood off here, and you drop your iron off there, and you'd take your plastics and your soft plastics, and everything could be sorted properly. And then we can also do the reduce, reuse, fix and recycle. So it's kind of comes on the back of our waste minimisation plan, which is just being finished and it's about to go out for consultation. So hopefully we'll be approving it for adoption in March. This is assuming that I get back on in March 2026. And the title of it is Waste Free Tairāwhiti, because we have a giant problem here. We have huge volumes of waste that we are trucking out. So every year, in 2024, we trucked 19,000 tonnes of waste, which is the weight of 3,000 buses from Gisborne to where we take it to over in the Bay of Plenty. And that's a giant cost, and it's also not sustainable, and it's not right for us to be. So there's two parts to this that I'm going to champion, apart from this recycling centre, which is really exciting with jobs and fixing lots of problems. Also, I'm going to really push for us to investigate a dump site here in our district so that we're not trucking out waste and we are looking after our own waste, which is what every region should be doing, and not dumping it on somebody else. So part of that is 40% of our waste is organic. It's a lot, that can be dealt with in other ways. And so that's about education. And a really good example is Beetham Retirement Village up there, up at Lytton West. They've got a group of people who do composting, and it's fantastic. And if anyone gets the opportunity to go and have a look at that, they get out there and they turn it over and they come up with this fabulous product that they can then use in their gardens. Yeah, it's a great example. And for the recycling centres, we've got examples of those. When I go away, I'm always looking at other things. And Thames, I've got a thing called the Seagull Drop-Off. And in Wanaka is Waste Busters, really great examples of what can be achieved. So that's the idea, and that sort of gives you the why and the possible solution. And it's not all council, every single person needs to care and want to do this. We need to reduce our carbon emissions, and we can do that through treating our organic waste properly instead of just putting it in a black bag. We can have worm farms, we can compost, and also maybe council can provide a bin for organic waste and have a solution for that waste somewhere else. So how are we going to measure that success? So we've got really good statistics about our waste, so we can measure our waste dropping. That
Because do we measure our waste? Are we a volumetric, or we because I know you put out your black bags, which like technically it's got a label on it saying maximum 5 kgs or something. But
yeah.
Are those weighed when they go in? So we've got like data on that?
Yeah, I'm not sure how they weigh it, but also you've got it all going on a truck that has to be weighed as well. So, that could be, that would be a more accurate way to measure that.
Yeah. Because I was always thinking like, it'd make as a waste minimization idea of, if people pay for actually how much they're dumping rather than like putting it in a bag, and then you'd have to weigh each bag.
Weigh
so it gets,
it could get a bit complex.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the idea is so solid, like your idea for where you're picking up this and championing this idea, because I know we call it waste, but it's really resource. There is a company in Gisborne, the metal recyclers. That is a for-profit business where you can just drop off metal and they make money out of it. So it makes so much sense that council can like take that up as well.
Yeah, and you can actually get paid too for some metal.
Yeah. So it's mental that we're paying money to ship it off somewhere else. We're kind of getting rid of a resource, because I don't know how feasible it is, but I kind of foresee a future where a dump is basically like a mine full of resources in the future. I don't know how clean it will be, but they're full of like rare metals and stuff like that. And it sounds...
we have got quite a few historical waste sites as well, 17 to 27 around the place, that also need to be sorted out.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the one right near the ocean is probably...
Yeah, most of them are near waterways or the ocean. Yeah, so...
What could go wrong?
Yeah. Not great decisions made in the past, but something that we can look at going forwards. Yeah, trying to fix that.
So on this idea of the, this kind of resource recovery centre, I'm pitching a name, should be, if it's not already. It sounds like there's a first step has already been taken, which is the purchase of the land. What happens next after that?
Consultation with the community and iwi partners, and I can't imagine why anyone wouldn't want this. Hopefully we can move it along quicker than what I've seen in the past. Just things that when I thought I came onto council it would be easy peasy, some of them are still waiting.
Yeah, I am curious to know your opinion, just like, maybe not what is, I'm sure council does a lot of things right, but what is wrong with council? Because it sounds like, from speaking with other people, that it's risk averse, and probably for good reason, but it feels like things maybe don't happen because it's so risk averse. And I'm getting this kind of blurry picture from people that work in, or like the different councillors that have experience, that something needs to change, a culture shift. But it just sounds so vague that I'm not really sure what's going on. What's your take?
Yeah, it's very risk averse. I know that the staff at council try their very best and really want to make things happen and do the best for the community. I don't know anyone that I've come across that I've thought, oh no, you're not doing the right thing. But I think it's like a bureaucracy, and we're answerable to central government. So we might be rocking down a path thinking this is where we're going, and then boom, a new government comes in and we're back to square one on that. There's a lot of that happens, and that's really hard to deal with. And also it's a waste of money. You've got this with the 3 waters, the 10 waters, now we've got a 1 water. But, we've had so many meetings and it's gone through so much policy and ideas and about each one of those that the time wasted and staff time, our time. Yeah, I don't think we can just blame Gisborne District Council for all the problems. A lot of it comes from above us, and we are ruled by the Local Government Act, so we have to abide by that. And so it's lots of rules and legal situations to follow, and then also consultation. It's really difficult. It's really hard to get people on board. Like, some of the stuff is really boring, and and we've just been doing our TRMP consultation, about 6 months ago, and going around telling people how that is in language that is difficult to understand, when really we could be saying, this new district plan will mean that you can cut your section in half and you can sell half of it. But at the moment you can't, because our district plan won't allow it. So without wanting to criticise anyone, I think we could do better with our communication. I think we could speak in more plain English and make it easier for people to talk to us. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds complicated.
Yeah, it is.
Which is what makes it so tough.
Yeah. And, I sometimes get an agenda and I look at it, and thank goodness for AI. Lately, I can cut and paste that. I can put it into AI and say, can you give me plain English? And it will. And it tells me what that's about. Yeah.
I mean, now I'm one of the few weirdos out there that actually goes on the council website and reads the agenda for some of the meetings that you guys have to go to. And you're right, some of it is just kind of strange
Out there.
gobbledygook. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, that's nice that someone goes and looks and reads and cares.
Well, my future idea is perhaps I can, kind of digest some of the meetings that go through and, write it, put it in, make it a nice, easy way so people can keep up to date. Because sometimes Gisborne Herald's the only one that really does anything with them, and they've got limited resources, and and
very limited
always,
now.
and they're just working from a purely print perspective. So there's room for
there's opportunity there, definitely.
There.
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the time frame on this? Goes out for consultation next year, March, perhaps?
Are you talking about the waste minimisation plan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, it goes out for consultation soon, really soon. I'm not sure exactly. It's hopefully going to be approved for adoption in March. Yeah.
All right. And then once it's approved, then sometime in the future?
Yeah. Yeah. And then boom, off we go. So if you can probably have a look at that on the website once it's up there. I wish I knew when it was going to be there, but it's been done in consultation with the Environment Centre. And there's some hugely passionate, amazing people there who already do some of this stuff. You can take your e-waste there, you can take your toothpaste tubes, your just about anything that can be recycled. They will take it and deal with it in the right way. So they've got helped to form the plan, and then we get the input from the people as well. And so we might be able to improve it and go from there.
Watch the space.
Yeah. So when I had a look at your SMART thing, so I think it is measurable, it is actionable, it is realistic and timely. For the whole thing, let's go 3 to 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're giving away some of the secret sauce in the background, where when I talk to, just to give some context, when I talk to councillors and I send them candidates, I've been sending out SMART goals for the candidates to, frame their ideas in a way that, is smart, measurable, achievable, realistic and timely. And I've got to say, maybe 20% of the candidates have come up with ideas like that. There's been some rather vague ones here and there, but I've tried to be as charitable as possible, because
yeah, it's hard work, but also there wasn't much instruction on your email.
Well, you got to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Would you like to do a little bit of a closing pitch?
Yeah. Okay. So, I feel like I've proven myself. I'm committed and I always have something to contribute to the council meetings, and I'm also part of a lot of community groups and attend like annual plan meetings in the community. A lot of things that nobody sees or measures. I try to get to everything that I can so that I'm in touch with the community. But so with my journalism training, it's a fabulous background to be a journalist because you're looking for what's missing. You're able to ask the hard questions, and you have a great sense, the BS sensor, because you have to have that when you're a journalist. You have to work out what's right and what's not. Also, I'm one of 2 women on the general ward that are standing on the general ward, and I'd really like to see both of us make it onto council. Alex Boris is the other one. I've got my 6 years solid foundation, and I kind of feel like it would be a real waste if I didn't get back on with all that information and ability that is actionable now. It really does take time before you can work out how to make a difference. I know how to listen and I know how to help people. And yeah, I love this place. I love Gisborne, and I look at my grandchildren, and for me, success is they want to live here. They want to be here. And so any decision that I make, I'm always looking at the future, not for quick fixes. That's me.
Awesome. Kia ora. And now the famous or infamous pop quiz rapid answers. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
Right. Favorite fish and chip shop in Tairāwhiti?
Everest.
Where is Everest?
It's on Ormond Road, just
Oh, near Mangapapa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I've been there. Favorite Lord of the Rings character?
Gandalf. Great leader.
Whale rider or boy?
Both.
Oh, that's the first. Trick to getting through winter in Tairāwhiti.
Winter tips. Okay. So first of all, you have to have enough wood in your woodshed. If you've got a fire, which we have. Any sunny day, I'm out there in the garden catching some vitamin D. And just keep a smile on your face and try to laugh as much as you can.
And final question. Power pie. Yay or nay?
Yay. Love power.
Turns out not as popular as I thought. It's a bit more of a dividing question.
Yeah. People either love it or hate it.